Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Adventure Time, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Sam Quattro.
Hello.
John McKenna.
Hi, everybody.
And Alex Bonilla.
Hola.
Today, Sam, John, Alex, and I are talking about the December 17th episodes of Adventure Time, Ring of Fire, 17 Ring of Fire, Marcy and Hunson, and the First Investigation, that will be airing Sunday night on Cartoon Network, but were released on the Cartoon Network app and online early. And that's what we'll be talking about them before December 17th. We talk about Adventure Time here at the Overly Animated Podcast on the very rare occasion that it is new. You can find us at overlyanimated.com or search for Overly Animated Adventure Time to subscribe and not miss any of our future Adventure Time podcasts. If you haven't seen these episodes, if you're listening after the 17th, then you could, they were on TV or they will be on TV, or you can find them on the Cartoon Network app and website. So, we're going to, 17 Ring of Fire, Marcy and Hunson, and the First Investigation. Spoilers for all four of these. Make sure you've seen them all. Sam, what are your overall impressions of these four episodes?
So, I guess in terms of, plot and what happens, etc., I was kind of underwhelmed. Especially for, Marcy and Hudson, because I thought that was going to be, this big, sweeping, statement on their relationship, like how Sam and Marcy was. But, is what it is. I don't know, it wasn't a pain to watch. I certainly liked it. Joshua and Margaret, not that. What was the episode? First Investigation. It's not Joshua and Margaret Investigation. Because that already happened. That episode was probably the weakest out of all of them, I think. Surprisingly, considering one was a Tree Trunks episode. But, I thought they were fine.
Okay, they were fine. Yeah, underwhelming plot-wise, but still good, you'd say?
Yeah. Yeah, typical, Adventure Time, wacky things happen. We're getting more, plot injections, of course, but not as strong as I would like it to be, but we're, on, the home stretch here, so.
Right, considering
it's gonna ramp up.
Yeah, after these four, we have 8 plus 1 episodes to go, so we're really getting down to it now. John, what are your overall impressions of these four?
I agree that they were not very plot heavy, but at the same time, I think, going what you said, Dylan, there's 8 plus 1 episodes left. I think what they're trying to insinuate, both from, Marcy and Hunson and from 17, is that Bubblegum's family are going to be integral to future plots. And I think this was a good way of introducing them, setting them up, keeping them in the background so that the viewer is at least conscious of their existence and their overall importance. Aside from that, yes, I do agree with Sam. Marcy and Hunson, I thought was going to be a bit meatier, but it was nice to see Hunson kind of accept the fact he wasn't a great father and he's trying to make up for that. But otherwise, I thought the episodes were great. I thought 17 was hilarious. But, and First Investigation, it's grown on me. I mean, it's definitely one of Adventure Time's more experimental kind of not linear episodes. It worked better than some of the others. It was alright. It certainly teased a future for sure, because we had that, snake thing come back. But yeah, it was another good solid run. No real bad episodes for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the snake thing. Yeah. I guess kind of.
Yeah, that 4, I think. I don't know what to describe. I don't know how
alien dad? Is that what you mean?
Alien dad.
Yeah,
shape-shifting alien dad.
Yeah, I guess snake's one of the closest animals to that, but yeah. Okay. We'll talk about Jake's alien dad, yeah. Alex, what do you think?
I figured it was a strong batch of episodes, ignoring Ring of Fire, which I think is the low point of the bomb. I think 17 was very fun. Marcy and Hunson was a nice ride. And the First Investigation, it's weird because I still am not sure if I like the episode or not. It feels like an episode that's laying out things without really focusing on the present. So I'm still confused on that. But as a group of episodes, I think this is the strongest of compared to the previous 2 Adventure Time bombs we've had since Elements. So I like that it was consistent in quality this time around. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree with Alex and a lot of you guys. I think these are 4 strong episodes. I really like all of them. So, I'm gonna very few negative things to say. It's disappointing that, like, I guess we're recording these several days after we initially watched them. They're out in the app a little earlier. And initially it's like, okay, this is disappointing. We're down in the home stretch. Like, why aren't we actually doing anything with this show? But if you ignore that, I think these are really 4 of the strongest episodes that we've had in a while. To be honest, I like all of them. For me, for the first investigation is, one of the best episodes of Adventure Time of the year. How about that? I think it's by far the best of these 4, and I really enjoy it. Then again, I love time stuff, so I'm biased towards this type of episode, but I thought that the first investigation was excellent. Ring of Fire, also very good. I thought this was an essential Tree Trunks episode. We needed to have it. Had to have
essential.
it. I'll define essential.
I went down to a burning ring of fire.
No, it didn't. Why is it called Ring of Fire? That's a good.
Actually,
it's about the ring.
Oh.
No, it's not. And I was thinking about this. It actually does tie into the Johnny Cash song a bit.
Okay. We'll get into that when we get into the episode, the Johnny Cash, analysis. It's, 17 I thought was good. Maybe my least favorite somehow out of the 4, but it was still, I liked all of them. And, Marcy and Hunson I get very initially disappointing because, like Adam Muto is storyboarding on this. It's being hyped as this big episode, and then it's just kind of nothing story-wise, but it was still very good. So yeah, I think we just need to not be expecting plot things from Adventure Time down the stretch, and then we'll be fine. That's kind of the main thing. I'm not convinced any of our final 8 episodes will have plot, to be honest. Like, are we really ending the show on a big bang? I'm not sure. So.
Well, we gotta do something about Gumball, right? Gumball, rather.
That's, if that's our big bang, then that is not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think the issue with expecting plot is that the plot that we're being presented is Gumball being the final villain, right? And he just hasn't exactly won me, at least personally, he hasn't won me over as a convincing villain.
Well, they just haven't done anything with any of them yet, right? Like, it's, he's not even in these, it's Chicle is the big villain of these episodes, right?
Well,
like,
17.
I think the entire family is the villain. This seems to be the villains here.
In 17 is where they put their most effort into making Gumball, like kind of this, thinking forward villain. Like, we don't need to attack them now. We've cut down Finn's self-confidence. That's enough for now. We'll do our next step in the plan later or whatever. But it doesn't feel like menacing enough, especially when you compare it to previous villains that this show has had.
You had the Lich, who is literally the embodiment of all that is evil. And he's still technically in the show. Right.
Depending on how they end this, not having the Lich as the final boss might be hard to swallow, given that they could easily put him in play in one episode. Like, all you need is like one episode, 3 minutes to get the Lich back into play here, and that'd be much more satisfying.
Didn't we already take care of him, though?
He's still there, but he's in like Sweet Pea. There's the general idea is that it's a massive holding pattern.
Right. They had Whispers in three buckets. I think Whispers specifically dealt with this topic, but I don't even remember where we ended up, to be honest. It doesn't matter. If you want the Lich there at the end, you can bring him back, but I don't know if we want to do that. I don't know if the show wants to do that. Anyway, let's dive into the specifics of these episodes. Let's talk 17 first. We can go, sequentially. And we're all thumbs up on 17?
Yeah, I thought it was a funny episode.
Okay, John, is it your favorite of the 4?
It is my favorite of the 4.
What did you specifically like about it?
I liked how it was just sort of I liked how it was a good mix of comedy mixed with a sort of silly drama. Like, we definitely had, it shouldn't have been silly because, Fern comes back and you get Uncle Gumball, but at the same time, you sort of knew things were going to turn out not all that bad. I'm surprised Finn actually did lose the challenges because, he's meeting this guy. It's the most whimsical beheading of somebody I've seen in a while because he comes right back. Yeah. He's just like so cavalier about it. It's like, Slice, it's a joke. I win. Oh, crap. It's not a joke. But then, they do the coconut toss, the grease pole and all that. And he said it's the worst birthday ever. But at the end, it winds up not being the worst birthday ever because he has a great ending.
Yeah, # whimsical beheading. But yeah, I guess it's a good ending to this. Yeah, Alex, what's yours?
Who doesn't want someone to emerge from their cake wearing a nice dress?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part of the episode. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I was equally emotionally scarred from that image as Finn, and I questioned my life choices at that point. But yeah, as to my thoughts on 17 as a whole, I really enjoyed it. I think that this level of humor was pretty good throughout, even if their efforts to add dramatic elements didn't really work for me. Like just Chikle using Fern as a puppet. Like, all right, whatever. But Huntress Wizard, I really enjoyed. I've always liked her, and so I'm biased here. But I enjoy how they're trying to incorporate her with the rest of the characters, trying to be a bit more socially awkward. Since we've only seen her alone in the forest, we haven't really seen her deal with other characters. So she's kind of working her way in there.
Analysis, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Analysis.
Does that mean technically that Huntress Wizard and Finn are now an item?
It seems like they're playing it that way, but
are we shipping it? Is that?
I mean, I ship it, but
hard buy.
I don't know if the show is necessarily, but we do get a nice thing where she gives him the elk's heart. This is of emotional and metaphorical significance.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that little touch. And also, of course, we need to talk about Bubblegum and Marceline action. It's kind of it's a little bit more subtler than Marcy and Hunson.
Yeah, we'll get Sam on that in a second, but yeah.
Yeah, so just from beginning to end, it's a solid episode of humor, which is kind of what I'm looking for with Adventure Time these days to begin with. So I enjoy that.
Okay, Sam, are you shipping Huntress Wizard and Finn, and also what stands out to you from 17?
I mean, I guess I don't really care about Finn's romantic life at all.
Sam, if you could pick one of the 3 ships to be endgame for Finn, would it be Finn and Bubblegum, Finn and Flame Princess, or Finn and Huntress Wizard?
I mean, it's going to be Finn and Huntress Wizard
if you could pick,
I don't know. I definitely would not pick Finn and Bubblegum, obviously.
Yeah, right. That's the point. That's the point. This is better than all alternatives. That's what I'm saying here. But yeah.
What about Finn and LSP?
Where's LSP? We need an LSP finale. That's got to be on the to-do for.
Remember a long time ago when Finceline was a ship?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
No, nobody shipped that. Don't. Yeah. Did you? Okay. Anyway, Sam, what stood out to you from 17?
Well, I think the obvious thing that stood out to me was the handhold between.
Yes, Marceline and Bubblegum. Yes, that if you've missed it, it was kind of in the foreground while we were focusing on the background of the shot towards the end when we're like
singing Happy Birthday
when we're like bringing the cake in and Happy Birthday. Yeah, so.
Oh yeah,
they were explicitly holding hands. This is big, bubbling development.
Big
correct?
News.
Yeah,
and obviously that's the thing that I know.
No.
But by the way, underrated Bubbline moment when Marceline jumps in front of Bubblegum to protect her from Fern's sword as a giant vampire. I enjoyed that part particularly as well.
You're a vampire? You're a giant vampire.
Yeah.
Wait,
Alex,
Marceline.
No, you just said you're a giant vampire, Alex.
Oh, well, when Marceline, the giant vampire, jumped
kill him!
Trying to out Alex as a vampire here.
They seem to be intimidated by that. Like, that seemed to be the one thing that stopped them, and then they had to deal with that in Marcy and Hunson. Like, I guess.
They said the vampire girl is legitimately scary or whatever. So
yeah.
I mean, I liked it. It kind of sucks that Finn's birthday just got ruined by this. Like, poor Finn, It's just like, and then he has to have Ice King singing, like, doing Marilyn Monroe and his cake. Like, come on. I don't like that.
Why not?
Flame Princess.
Let's be realistic. Dressing up as your ex by itself is a really harsh move, let alone disguising that as celebrating you.
What's not to like about Ice King popping out of Finn's birthday cake and singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President too? I'm like, what is this?
I don't know. Because he's like 17 and it's kind of weird.
Oh,
hey, Ice King is allowed to be at this birthday, but the dress is a bit much.
Wait, that's the part that's a bit much? Not the popping out of the cake?
Popping out of the cake is fine, but dressing up as your ex is kind of rough, man.
I think that you're missing the mark on what's the problem here.
It's one of those, it's like, why and do we really want to know?
I mean, I do.
I think we know what's going on. I think
Ice King is insane?
Yes.
Ice King ships himself with Finn?
This is his birthday present for Finn. What's to understand,
Well, it's better than like attacking him, so I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
I think Finn would have preferred that.
I think he would have, yeah. I think Finn's scarred for life.
In the vault.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to begin your year of being 17. Like, we were all like that at one point, right? Just,
Scarred for life? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I thought that moment was really fun. That was the hardest I've laughed at Adventure Time in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. Anyway, yeah, I think this is a good episode. My problem with it compared to the other episodes is that it's not really a complete unit. Like I'm very much into, things closing out and finishing where they started. And in this episode, we just kind of get introduced to, oh, it's Fern. Oh, it's the Gumball family. And none of that really landed for me. Like, I don't know what the point of it being Fern is. What's the point of bringing Fern back? What's the point of having the Gumball family and have that? I'm not attached to that plot at all. And, like, yeah, nothing tied together in this episode, but it was still funny and there are good moments.
Yeah, also another thing is when, Gumball says something like, hint, oh my glob, and they kind of try to play that as a twist, right? Like, oh, whoa, so that's what happened. But the problem is a lot of us had already theorized that this was the case, so it doesn't exactly land as much as I think, like, Bubblegum tries to sell, like,
Right. I thought that was somewhat apparent from the last group of episodes that's what happened at the end of Elements. Yeah. That didn't seem like that much of a surprise. Like, oh, they got turned back. Like, it's not really a twist because we didn't know that they were turned into candy people when that happened in Elements, right? That's an element that they introduced afterwards.
Yeah, but Bonnabelle Bubblegum is the episode that kind of sold us on this. But now that, in the context of this being the immediate next episode, it's fine, but like, in a vacuum, the twist doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess it's hurt because it aired like 3 months, 4 months, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, later. Like if it was back-to-back weeks, it might have been better, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's like, once again, Cartoon Network scheduling, it's bad, .exe.
Yeah. They tried here. But yeah, so what do we think about, Fern being back as the Green Knight?
Dislike.
Okay.
Expected.
That was like the whole thing. He killed him and he was feeling like crap about it. Like, come on.
Yeah,
But Uncle Gumball was going to bring him back.
Right,
that was the end of
we saw Gumball collecting Fern at the end of that episode of 3 Buckets, and we didn't know it was him at the time, but then he was introduced in Bonilla Bubblegum, so yeah, it makes sense that Gumball has brought Fern back. My thing is, what's the point, Sam? Like, yeah, like you said, it's like we closed out that arc. Finn angst. What are we doing now? What do you think we're gonna do with Fern, Sam?
I don't know, just like use him as like a tool to prey on Finn's emotions and feeling towards his like bad side or whatever. I don't know. It's just like, it's pointless and we don't need it.
I think it could work.
Where do you see the show going with that, John?
To start with, we have to think about him as like, he is the spirit of the grass sword, and I've always felt that the grass sword and just that spirit has that great darkness, mysteriousness to it, that when the show has used it, it really is that sort of can be good, can be evil. It's this great wild card that isn't overplayed. I think what's going to happen is Fern will be, maybe a tool, as Sam said, but also maybe as a more conscious character who is trying to take over Finn's life and get back to him, because he still has that desire. And now that he has Uncle Gumball, the two paths might be crossing, and he's going to be maybe not the ultimate villain, but he might be like one of the sub-villains going forward that Finn will actually have to deal with in a deliberate manner rather than accidentally killing him.
Yeah. There's something to Fern being the final boss in that it's mostly just Finn's internal angst battle. Like, whereas Uncle Gumball I don't care about, Finn I do care about. So if Fern is like a avatar for Finn's internal arc and angst and stuff, I don't know. Maybe that could be something.
And as we talked about with 3 Buckets, Finn dealing with internal angst has pretty much been a theme this entire show, and we've done this plot line before, and I thought we had cleaned it up with 3 Buckets, but I guess we're gonna just keep stretching it along. Fern himself in this episode, I don't particularly mind, because to me, Fern was never really developed as a character to begin with, so you bring him back as a puppet, well, that's pretty much what he was to begin with.
Harsh.
So just I don't mind him being used as a tool because I never developed an emotional connection to him. Despite them dedicating an entire season to him, it didn't work. So if you want to keep him around, Gumball trying to prey on Finn's emotional stuff, fine. And that does seem to be the point of this episode of 17, because by the end, Gumball says, well, look, your hero's broken inside, and that's all we needed. And so it seems that that's what they're aiming for to begin with. So whatever, as a tool, he's okay. I don't have any faith in him becoming a character unless you want to do something drastic with him, like say him turning on Uncle Gumball. If you want to try something like that, that might be interesting, but just him being a tool, whatever.
Yeah, I could maybe see that. Him
at the same time though, we could say that, we were sort of over this Finn angsty thing, but if there's one underlying takeaway from the episode, it's that Finn really does still have a lot of growing up to do. He was, he got really cocky really quick. He thought, I'm 17, I got this, I've hit my stride. And he was making all these dumb decisions when he was trying to challenge Fern. Like, he's letting him pick the battle. Thinks he could take it all on his own. Everyone's yelling, no, don't do that, don't do that. He still has a little bit more growing up to do. So I think having a little bit more of that Finn angst thing, it's still going to be good for the character because there's more you can do with that, and there's more he needs to do with that.
Yeah, I agree that's a theme of this episode, because Finn's talking about how he's I'm 17 now, I'm late teens, like he keeps saying it, and really he's not much more mature now. So I feel like
but it's like at the same time, 17-year-old Finn angst is going to be different from 15-year-old Finn angst, which is going to be different from 13-year-old Finn angst, which is one of the show's real strong points.
Yeah, we've been really hitting on the Finn character arc. That's definitely something that the show has presented as being very important to it, and maybe that's why we need Fern back in play. I do think it's possible that Fern is not the same Fern as before. Like he seems to know Finn, but I don't know. I like Alex said, maybe more of just a puppet for them, and not not having the same consciousness as previous Fern. So I all of that kind of up in the air. But yeah, before he reveals himself as Fern, he's the Green Knight, and they're playing the birthday games. He has been beheading him, and then they play the games, and he's cheating, and yeah, I don't have any takeaways about that, but it was fun.
Finn is totally getting played.
Yeah, he's getting played. Only other things from the episode, I think we've buried the lead on the most important person at Finn's birthday, which is Starchy.
Wow. He didn't get Finn diddly squat.
Yeah.
He lost his shovel.
Starchy was invited, and he was wonderful, and everything he said was great. We talked about Huntress Wizard. Bimo was there, he didn't do anything.
He made a game for him.
Oh yeah, they all gave them presents, yeah, that's right. And
except for Starchy.
Jake doesn't really do anything this episode either. And PB and Marceline were there. So
Jake is the one who brings out the giant cupcake at the end, right?
Was that Jake's gift?
The Finn cake.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even tell. I was too distracted by Ice King.
See, like, in that sense, Ice King dressing up as Flame Princess kind of works because Jake is known to be a troll, so...
It was a prank, classic Drake prank, yeah.
Yeah.
Not thinking about it makes more sense now. I don't know. That episode didn't really present that to me, but yeah.
That makes it more cruel then, because Jake knows exactly what happened between Finn and Flame Princess.
Right.
Yeah, I think Jake did know what happened. And, look, Jake's never been a nice person. So this is the same character, I think. Okay. Anything else from the episode? No. Well, we can go back to this.
So what is Gumball's end game here exactly? Because it seems that in this he does at some point pull out the serum. It's like, you thought we were happier as candy people? How don't you try it? So like, is it as simple as we want to take over the kingdom, get bubblegum out? Is that it?
I guess so.
So far, maybe, yeah.
I don't think we've been presented with anything specific. As of now, it's just King of Ooh 2.0, to be honest. So
yeah.
Well, I think we probably would have to rewatch Bonilla Bubblegum to, like, remember what his motives are. Probably, doing some capitalism, making some money, etc.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Uncle Gumball, hopefully, if we're gonna do him as this prominent villain to end the show, let's do it big. Let's have some more interesting things. Okay. We need to talk Ring of Fire. because I said this is the Tree Trunks episode we needed.
It's her swan song.
Right, exactly.
As far as we know.
Aww.
Yes, this is the Tree Trunks finale. I think we're going to be getting... So Adventure Time's always been a show that is, or at least for the past 4 years or 5 years, it's gone through 20-ish arcs back to back. Like it has its Tree Trunks episode, then it's Bubbling episode, then it's Bubblegum's past episode or whatever. Like we're just rotating through plot lines, and we need to end some of these. So I think we're going to get finales for a lot of them. This is our Tree Trunks finale, and this answers the long-standing question of what were her previous marriages. Like we get the history.
Oh, I was so interested in that.
I was interested in that. Alex here has been disrespecting the vital side character that is Tree Trunks ever since we've seen this episode. So, Alex, you got to be put on blast here. What weren't you getting about the brilliance that is Ring of Fire?
Of the 20 rotating plot lines Adventure Time has, do you really want to give this priority?
Yes, I do.
That's my thing. Like, what does it matter what Tree Trunks' past is? She's not an important character. She's used as a joke, as the old lady who's saucy. That's her entire character.
This is...
there is no point to see it's nice. I mean, sure, stick it in like the middle of season 5 or whatever. But I don't care about Tree Trunks' life, and I don't think I got anything out of this episode. Even the jokes were kind of there wasn't much jokes besides I dump people easily. Great, I already knew that about you.
So wrong. All of that was wrong, Alex. Tree Trunks is the most vital side character in this show.
She's the first side character.
Right. She's number one.
Probably not.
She's original OG character from Adventure Time, and she must have her conclusion here.
And from her first episode, I didn't enjoy her, so, you know. Yeah.
She has the important job of being the Lich's mom. I mean, that's pretty important.
They did give her an important job eventually. Tree Trunks is iconic, and we needed to give her a finale. And
she is iconic, I'll give you that.
She's iconic, right? Like you can't just end Adventure Time without having this episode. Like
yes, you can.
She's too iconic. She's like,
you can make her show up for like 2 minutes in one of these episodes, and that'd be a good
we need
finale.
A complete detailing of her history. We needed it. we needed it.
The world needs to know.
And I'm personally, my life is much better off for having seen Tree Trunks' history, Alex.
Is your life really that enriched by knowing that Tree Trunks had a second husband named Danny?
Yes, I needed to know about Danny. I did. I really did. Seb, what did you think of Ring of Fire?
I really enjoyed it in a way that I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I don't know, cause I'm not really the biggest Tree Trunk fan. I think like her episodes are kind of boring, and you know, I'm not an old lady, so whatever. But I thought this was actually really compelling. And, you know, a lot of the jokes and gags were like, you know, hashtag relatable. And it was interesting to see where Tree Trunks came from in her past, and how she was, you know, a leaf in the wind, but now, you know, she's settled down. And it's just a good sort of dialogue about growing up, I think, right?
Yes.
You know, when you're younger, like, any adventure is good, but, you know, as you get older, you start to realize, you know, maybe your choices weren't as good, and, you know, maybe the choices you made now, as in, like, settling down, that's the best adventure of all. So, I liked it.
That's the best adventure of all. Wow, deep.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah, John, thoughts on Ring of Fire?
I actually liked it, and getting back to I actually really liked it. It was nice seeing how, you sort of thought that she just had a bunch of marriages that just didn't pan out, but as it turns out, one marriage she ended before the honeymoon, the other one she ended because it was a trick. The only one that lasted long before Mr. Pig was with Wyatt, who we already knew was her ex-husband, but is also pathetic. So I find it kind of hilarious that was the one that she stuck around with the most. But again, I was kind of excited for this one again. I am a big Johnny Cash fan, and I actually really liked how they did genuinely use the lyrics to build this episode around, which I thought was actually kind of clever, the way they did that.
Okay, give us an example of that.
Well, the song itself isn't really about a literal ring of fire. It's about what love does to you and the adventures and the risks and the intensity of your actions when you are in love. And we see that with Tree Trunks. She was willing to, she was about to get married to Randy, and she was going to travel the world with him, but realized that she couldn't stay attached, so she left. But then she became a pirate because she wanted tight men. No idea what that means. But
yes, you do.
Okay, yes, I do. And
I'm the highlight of the episode. Yeah.
Yes, I do, and I'm jealous I'm not a tight man. Okay. Anyway.
There you go.
Okay, but she uses that and she becomes a pirate. It's this again, it's another intense moment. She ditches her ship to be with Danny, and then maroons him and then blows up her ship when she realizes it was her old ship, which was a trick. And it's these very intense, very extreme emotions, and love was the driver in all of them. And that was the main theme of Johnny Cash's song, Ring of Fire. It's about the intensity. So, in a sense, the title is very appropriate.
Yeah, very okay, very pro. I like that analysis. That's good. Yeah, Sam linked in the chat, Steve Wolford, writer storyboard for this episode, said Ring of Fire is the most sex mad thing I ever boarded for Adventure Time. So
well, yes, you know why? Because it's a Tree Trunks episode. Every Tree Trunks episode is full of innuendo.
That's true.
That sexy elephant.
That is kind of the premise of the character. Yeah. Okay. Here's why this episode's brilliant. because it's brilliant. I don't know. What are we getting here? We saw Tree Trunks' history as a pirate, as a shipping magnate. We saw her in high school, and we saw her after she settled down with Wyatt and how terrible that was, and then her appreciating her present to a certain extent. I agree. It's really relatable. There's a lot of great quotes from this that we'll get into, and the tight men thing is the best. She says, "Drown all but the tightest men," and it's so funny. And yeah, that's just her as a pirate captain. And she disavowed afterwards. There are no more tight men. Mr. Faduti, which I thought was like something booty, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be, but first mate. But yeah, I was really into it. I saw the history here. So let's go over them. So we had Randy, she's from Tiny Mammal Kingdom. I don't know if we knew that already, but, Randy needs the ring, and he threw it, Tree Trunks is like, I threw it down a bottomless pit. No, that's not right. But then that is in play. And, Randy was the first husband after they graduated, and, she's about to take off, and then he says, marry me, and then they do, and, then she just abandons him, says, I'm a wild child. Sam, you were into what part of this did you connect with? The Randy flashback?
The giraffe was gay. I'll tell you why.
No one remembers who the giraffe is. The one that gets her to sign the yearbook.
She's just in the background.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. She what's the word? Frantically asked Tree Trunks to sign her swim team photo. Which is gay in itself. But then Tree Trunks hands it back and gives her a little wink. So
yeah. She's definitely a fan of Tree Trunks at the very least, yeah.
Yeah, so Tree Trunks is appealing to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, she was homecoming queen and stuff, so she's all his fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was the popular girl.
Yeah. As we all know, cause she's the best, and she's the sex symbol, apparently, right? So it goes all the way back here. Danny, the second husband, and she was a pirate, Captain Tree Trunks. And Peanut, which was the two monkeys in like a sheet or something. And what do we think of this plotline?
Easy.
It kind of reminds me of Beach City Drift, where Kevin also pretends to have a sick sibling. They really give me that vibes.
Oh, Kevin! I like the Kevin reference, although I don't get it.
Wow.
But okay.
Because here he's pretending to have a sick or disabled sibling, and I'm always like,
I think Kevin's relevant because he's also a wonderful side character, much like Tree Trunks. There you go. Why
for different reasons.
Shove them both off on an island by themselves. They'll be happy together.
That's the new spin-off show.
Oh God.
I'd watch that show. Why it's the third husband who we knew about, and she became a shipping magnate, and Wyatt was the secretary. We saw their wedding, I think, right, with King Abu, and so we see that again. She says
she gave all her money to.
Yeah, all her money to King of Ooh. I'm never wearing clothes again, she says. And
so Tree Trunks has been naked the entire time.
That's what we learned in this episode.
So is Mr. Pig, apparently.
Yeah, they live in their little nudist colony in the orchard. That's great.
But then
giant
has
devil
clothes,
child.
So, what's that about?
Yeah.
Well,
true.
Sweet Pea is kind of humanoid, so I guess they're like, well, he has to have clothes, but we're animals, so our natural state is to be wild.
One of the relatable lines we're talking about, Tree Trunk says, I thought Glob told me, here's someone who needs your love, but what he really must have said was, go suck an egg, Tree Trunks. Yeah. Also from the beginning of the episode, talking to Sweet Pea in the beginning, she says, Sweet Pea's like, why are you crying? She says, that's just something that happens when grown-ups think about their lives for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was alright.
So depressing. It's great, yeah.
It's
mostly because Sweet Pea sold that line for me though too, because it's like genuinely innocently asking.
Yes, and she responds, yeah, honestly, why it's like I'm gonna throw the ring in a bottomless pit.
So. He never did. It's his his like
suck ring.
Suck ring.
What does that even mean?
He teased on it.
Cubing.
I don't think we want to know, but yeah, it's Mr. Pig falls from the ceiling, and then why it's also there, and her and Mr. Pig are on solid ground now, and you and Sweet Pea are my greatest adventure. So yeah, everything's good for Tree Trunks.
And finally, Randy got his grandma's ring back, which is the most important part of the episode.
I mean, I guess Randy was the least problematic of the husband, so it's fine if he gets it back.
He never got a chance.
He got jilted.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have proposed right when they graduated. That's not a good call. So it's not like this is, like he should have seen this coming, but yeah, he was the only one that wasn't his fault. So yeah, he got his ring, great. Although he wasn't super nice or anything in the present. But yeah, so we're happy with, Mr. Pig and Tree Trunks' conclusion here.
I guess.
Yeah.
I actually do appreciate kind of what they've done with Mr. Pig over the years, because he kind of started off a bit more like on the jealous side, which was always a bit uncomfortable. But now he seems to like still have that side to him, but he's not as violent or as exerting of his power as he once was. Like he kind of lets the other two X's fight amongst themselves while he's trying to explain himself like with words. So just, I like Mr. Pig and Tree Trunks, and Mr. Pig in particular, I think he's progressed as a character, subtly, but slowly.
Yeah, I barely remember Mr. Pig, so it's been a long time. The show's been on the air for 7, 8 years, yeah.
And he's making like vats of porridge for Sweet Pea.
Yeah, he was struggling, I guess, but yeah, I guess Sweet Pea
that food budget must be huge.
Yeah.
Poor Sweet Pea. I love him.
But they have a bunch of apples around them. That could have just been all the apples they grew. He didn't need to spend a cent.
Apple pie, yeah. Yeah, we called back to the original Tree Trunks apple pie stuff with Wyatt there. Yeah, it's great.
Man can't live on apples forever.
I mean, Tree Trunks can.
Yeah, what else does she eat? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's our Tree Trunks finale. Marcy and Hunson are a Hunson Aberdeer finale. I don't know why we needed this either, but.
Actually, hold on. Before you go back there, I noticed something in, Ring of Fire that I wanted to bring up. Randy was wearing a white sweater with a red R on the front.
Oh, this.
Okay.
I am calling this right now. Team Rocket exists in this universe. And he's part of Team Rocket.
Okay. I have no comments on that, but okay.
No comment, or you just not want to believe?
Yeah, maybe I'm not in deep enough to.
Pokemon and Adventure Time take place on the same Earth.
I just noticed the coincidence. I was like, he's Team Rocket.
Yeah, maybe that was a Team Rocket reference. I don't know. Okay, let's talk Marcy and Hunson. Sam, we're excited to see Hunson Aberdeer back.
I mean, I was excited at the idea of this episode. Like, oh, we're gonna get deep into the daddy issues, aren't we? But we kind of didn't. But I think overall, it was a nice little surprise, a nice little wrap up. I think, we haven't seen him for like years at this point.
Has he been in since the finale, whatever finale he was in?
Hold on, let me look it up.
Like he was in the season 1 or 2 finale, right? And
yeah,
season 2 premiere. Okay, and
Okay, yeah, his last appearances, let's see. His appearances, it came from the Nightosphere, Daddy's Little Monster, Memory of a Memory, and All of the Little People.
Okay.
So,
And
all the
Return
little
to the
people doesn't
Nightosphere.
count.
And Return to the Nightosphere.
Mentioned and pictured, says
Mentioned
the
and
Wikipedia.
pictured. Okay. So he hasn't been on for a while, yeah. But
Yeah, not since like season 4 or 5.
yeah. Alex, what good idea to have our Hunson finale?
I'd say so. It's interesting because it just kind of it continues the whole bad dad theme of this show because it feels almost the same as Martin and Finn, except like this would have been the best case scenario of how Martin would have turned out. Like, yeah, he's still bad, but at least he's making an effort. Martin never did that, but it seems Hunson, like, he at the end, he even like spells it out, right? I'm bad, but I'm not so bad, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to change, but at least I'm making an effort now more than I used to. So it's okay. I think Hunson is funny, so that resolves my issues with it being kind of a recycled theme. But it was all right. And if you want to bring Hunson back, since he was so integral early on in the show, that was fine by me.
Yeah, John, what do you think of Hunson in this episode?
I thought it was an interesting approach to have Hunson Abadir be this, at least try to redeem himself in the eyes of his daughter. And what's interesting from a viewer's perspective is you didn't want to believe he was doing that because we knew so much about him. We knew what he was capable of. But toward the end, I was actually surprised that he was genuinely trying to be there for his daughter. He was trying to support her, but he was doing it just all the wrong way. She was beating up on ghosts. He was stealing their cameras to try to get up front. He was being an embarrassing dad. And he got his butt kicked by a ghost because of Pet Butt's spell. But after a while, I think maybe he needed to get his butt kicked a little bit because he maybe needed that humility to actually fully try to actually make his daughter understand that he is trying to be a better father. And it is a little bit different. I was a little bit underwhelmed, but we kind of had enough Marcy Hunson backstory to begin with that I wasn't sure if we really needed more of that. So I think it worked.
Yeah, I do want to say the flashback of Marcy building her house and then Hunson just busting in like the Kool-Aid man. Like, to me, that it was funny and it was just enough. Like, because we've always been like, well, how did Simon do the whole transfer to Hunson thing? And
Really didn't.
Yeah, it seems like it's just like he summoned, like, who called me? Oh, this is nice. I'll look over there, souls. Like, it kind of just fits with what we've seen of his personality, and it's like, okay, that's all I need. Just when they met, it seemed to be without much consequence. Cool. And that just set the tone for the rest of their relationship.
Yeah. It's, I didn't need any, specific Hunson takeaways here, so what we got was fine, I guess. And, yeah, he's bad, but not so bad, sure. He was funny in this episode. He says, I'm in town for a week and I don't have a place to stay, ... to Marceline. And, yeah, he's a few good exchanges with like Finn and stuff. And, yeah, I don't know. I didn't take that much away from him. And, to be honest, I didn't take that much away from Marceline specifically in this episode either. Like, I think her concert, was her singing Slow Dance with You. I thought that was like visually good and it sounded good and stuff. But, I don't know. Sam, I don't have a lot to talk about her performance or anything. What did you get out of it?
Loved it. Gay. Great. I don't know. Yeah, gay. Very good song. Written by Babo Baggins, who is a person, I'm told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hynden Welch, voice of Bubblegum as background singer.
Yeah, so love it. Great, wonderful, perfect, spectacular. The anthem of a generation.
What generation?
This generation.
like in the Adventure Time world and post-apocalyptic generation?
It transcends universes.
It transcends universes.
I'd say it's the anthem of frustrated teens who see their crushes going with someone else.
Exactly. So, I really enjoyed it. I think, this might be the last Marceline performance we get. So, it goes out on a high note, I think. One of the better songs.
Yeah, Sam links Bebo Baggins on Twitter saying, she says, I wrote Slow Dance with You about this girl who didn't like me because she had a boyfriend, LOL. So,
exactly.
An inherently gay song, yeah. Okay. And she's singing with the ghost girl in the background, yeah. It was a nice performance, yeah, thumbs up. I don't get, what's the ghost aspect? Why are they at a graveyard? And,
I did enjoy this part because it is actually a callback to a season 1 episode, Ghost Princess. There's an entire episode in the cemetery, and I recognized a lot of it, so which is kind of weird. So I was like, where's this from? And so I had to go back and look for it. But that's a really weird callback to make this late in the show.
Yeah, Hamburger Hill Cemetery.
Yeah, we had that season 1 episode. Also at the end where they're at the pizza place, they're at Pizza Sassy's, which is the setting for a Lumpy Space Princess episode where she's trying to get Finn and Jake to find the pizza man, or one of those episodes. Jake turns into a car, I think.
And then he eats Finn?
Yeah, that episode. But yeah, this episode was weird because it had a couple of callbacks that are not really useful at all, but it's oh, I recognize that.
And also, I think this pizza place was in Blank Eyed Girl, which was an episode in season 7 too. They're just eating, nothing happens, they just eat pizza, and I just remember because it was $350 for the pizza.
Yeah,
wow.
That's,
Okay.
Inflation.
I'm glad. Yeah, whenever.
No, it's because it was $350 pizza, and Finn just paid it as if it was nothing. So.
Well, he has a whole bunch of treasure in his house.
For thousands of years in the future, I guess it is inflation. Yeah.
And while we're on the subject of gay, also Marceline wearing Princess Bubblegum's sweater from Stakes. That's gay.
Yeah,
Love
which we've done before with Sky Witch, them with PB with Marcy's pajamas, right?
Yeah, and then right before the very first episode of Islands, they did it. They switched jackets.
Yeah, and then so while we're on this topic, and then at the end, Hunson asks, "So when are you gonna have some kids?" To Marceline.
I'm not, Dad. Jesus.
Also, when Hunson asks, "Is she dating anyone?" Finn, maybe.
Right. So yeah, that's the other line. So
this entire episode is like a backdoor Bubbleine episode without Princess Bubblegum being in it.
Yeah. So let's talk. She's in at the end, but.
I read that as just Finn not knowing if Marceline was actually dating anybody or not.
Well, let's say that line. So he says, Hunson says, is she still all goody-goody, still half vampire, started dating anyone? Finn says, yes, but no, then again, yeah, then yes again, and maybe. So the middle one, the still half vampires, we're talking about Stakes. That's why that's a convoluted answer. And then, Finn says maybe to started dating anyone. I mean, I think Finn hangs out with these people a lot, and there's a large community in this post-apocalyptic world. So I think this Finn is referencing the up in the air relationship status of Marceline and Bubblegum for sure. And Sam, what do you think of how this episode approaches Marceline and Bubblegum's potential current romance?
I mean, it doesn't directly do anything, but in terms of roundabout hints and little seeds, I think it does a good job. Little things like the song and the sweater and the answer. So hopefully,
so the real question is, is one of these last 8 episodes a Bubline finale, right?
Oh my god, I swear.
I'm kind of worried that this is the backdoor Bubbleine episode. Honestly, what if this is the most we're gonna get?
Yeah. I would not mind that because I'm actually definitely in the no camp and wanting Bubbleine to happen on camera.
You're one of the few. I think this is a popular fandom thing. That's.
If it doesn't happen, whoever the powers that be will get a strongly worded letter from me.
Right. So question one is
letting this happen.
Yeah, will one of this last episodes be that? And also, even if you don't, will they just have some kiss scene in one of the last few episodes? And I think that's something we're going to be strongly tracking because they've just continued to have this be a part of the show so much. And how are you going to do end Adventure Time without finally consummating the Marceline and Bubblegum relationship?
It's 2017. It's time.
They started this 5 years ago, and it was a slightly different entertainment climate, and it would have been super revolutionary if they had them explicitly together. But things are different now, and we've had many different shows surpass this in terms of queer representation. And at this point, like, Adventure Time is in the Stone Age with Bubblegum and Marcy. Like, this is like not acceptable if we don't do something like with them. Like, you don't need to, I guess, because you don't need to do anything in Adventure Time specifically. Like, there's no like definite thing you need to do with the show to finish the show. But if there is things that we're gonna do, like, this is one of them. Like, have them kiss or something and show it explicitly, because they've refused to do that to this point. Right, Sam?
And yes. I do think it's notable that we've been pushing a lot more Bubbling lately, because if you just look at the 4 episode span, Bonnabelle Bubblegum, 17, Ring of Fire, Marcy and Hunson. That's 4 episodes back to back. 3 of them have Marceline and Bubblegum together in some capacity. So they're definitely trying to push it to the forefront a little bit more in this final season. So even
hopefully building it up to something.
Yeah, that you would think, right? If they're making a concerted effort here to show them more frequently.
Yeah.
Well, there is one thing I'd like to mention. Dylan, you said that I know you criticized Adventure Time a little bit for being sort of backwards in comparison. When the first Bubbling instance came out, it was season 1, and the reason why they didn't want it to be canon was because Adventure Time, at the time, it probably still does, it airs in countries where homosexuality on screen.
Yeah. I get this. Yeah, this is a frequent talking point, and it's definitely a thing that's true that these networks are conscious of them airing internationally, and that's a big reason why they push back against this. As I've said many times on this podcast, I don't care about that, and it's the impetus is upon Cartoon Network and other networks to be progressive in this. Like really, you think your Africa/Russia like viewership is that important to your bottom line? No. So
and Adventure Time certainly doesn't have problems censoring things anyway in other countries.
And they'd censor it anyway.
None of the Cartoon Network episodes do. But
right, so they say yeah, anyway. So yeah, Sam, what do you? Yes, John.
Well, I was gonna say though, but my opposition to having Bubbling, it has nothing to do with me not saying that they were canon. I believe they are. My issue is just that it's part of that whole relationship is based upon the fact that they were dating at one point, but have grown apart. And I actually kind of like the sort of platonic dynamic that they have. I think it's enriched by the fact that they were once in a relationship. I'm not entirely sure it would be a great thing to get them back together, because I think it's a good example of you could still be friends with someone even after you've broken up, and you can have that close friendship without.
I do think that is how they were presented before. That's completely valid, because that is like how they were presented on the show to start with. That they like dated thousands of years ago, and
but the problem is the show has never actually said they've dated. So
that's one of the problems. Is one, they just haven't explicitly said it, so that's stupid. And two, we're past that point. Like, we are at a point where they are exploring their romance in the present. I think that in the past, it's hard to gauge time in Adventure Time, but the past whatever season, like they're holding hands.
I think ever since the end of Stakes, probably.
Right, like they're probably currently dating. Like, yes, like that is a good point, John. That was what their relationship was about. It was about the fact that it was someone who you were with in the past and like trying to get over and stuff now, and they were dealing with their emotions. But the show has already pivoted. That's already happened. So at this point, I think we might as well continue that plot. And we all think they're dating, right, Sam? Like,
yes,
they're currently. So Finn is unclear on it, much like us. But let's clarify that.
I think there's a possibility that they're not dating, but like they're together and they haven't really decided to define their relationship status.
They're less at each other's throats, basically.
They're certainly more friendly, no matter how you look at it, and closer than earlier in the series. But yeah, Sam, what's your ultimate wish list for the two of them in the last 8 episodes?
I mean, obviously a kiss would be the best thing to happen. Maybe like they did this in the comics. I remember like a couple years ago, like co-rulers of a kingdom, like the Vampire Candy Kingdom. That's nice. I'd like that.
Yeah. Marriage co-rulers, right?
Yeah, right. I don't know, but realistically, I know probably we'd have to scale back. Maybe like just some like explicit words, explicit actions that are maybe less than a kiss, which, I'll settle for because, desperate times, handhold, etc. But, obviously the main confirmation of this romantic relationship would be a kiss. And that would be the best thing to happen other than, hey, Marceline, you're my girlfriend. Hey, Bonnabelle, you're my girlfriend. Like, Duh.
Right. That'd be really good too. Yeah, direct confession of love. But anything less than a kiss is unacceptable. I think at this point, look at things that will be airing in 2018. So Cartoon Network hasn't had like an explicit, direct, like on the lips, non-straight kiss to this point. There's like the one episode of Adventure Time with Ruby and Sapphire where they're like basically kissing. So
Steven
Ruby and
Universe.
Sapphire
of Steven Universe, where I mean,
you got the internet very excited about a crossover for 3 seconds, Dylan.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Like, why hasn't this crossover happened, right? Like, the show's ending. Why didn't the Steven Universe Adventure Time crossover?
And so we got the Minecraft episode.
Yeah, we're getting Minecraft, but not, yeah, anyway.
That could be cool.
The Minecraft episode could be cool, or the Steven Universe Adventure. Anyway.
No, the Adventure Time Minecraft. If Steven Universe and Adventure Time ever do a crossover, you'll be able to, Tumblr will be on that like white on rice.
Oh yeah, well, no, but it's So Steven Universe has surpassed it in terms of queer representation, but Cartoon Network's still lagging behind other networks. Disney's had and Starverse had a background characters on air same-sex kiss. Mysticon's next year will be potentially having a same-sex on air kiss between main characters if that gets through.
And the Loud House has a kid who grows up in a gay household, and it's out. Nickelodeon is or liberal.
Well, if we're including that, Cartoon Network did have Clarence. Which
Cartoon Network has the Clarence Loud House equivalent.
Right.
Yeah. But in terms of like direct, like, on-air kisses, like we're like, Cartoon Network's just, in the Stone Age at this point. I mean, it's not like they're that far behind. All of these networks are bad with this, but, considering this network has the gayest show on TV, Steven Universe, like, it's kind of shocking that they haven't been more explicit with this. Okay. Anyway, this will be a topic we're tracking.
Yeah, this is pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it already made.
Yeah,
it, but,
pressure for things that are already.
Yeah,
done,
they already made the episodes. But
I must admit, I am still very surprised in all this that once upon a time in the 1990s, U.S. cartoons were known to be more conservative than their European counterparts in U.S. kid shows. Now it seems like they're more liberal about this kind of thing. I'm like, there's uproar in England and France over a Steven Universe Pearl Rose thing. Meanwhile, in the U.S., it was crickets. I was actually pleasantly surprised at that.
Right. Yeah. It's not just us. Europe's also pretty problematic with this. It's true. We've had this.
But they're better. Like, I saw a UK kids show once where they actually have people beheaded and talk about chopping off people's genitalia. I was like,
okay.
Well, that's getting into the violence sets debate.
Yeah.
No, it's
anyway,
mysteries.
In general, we've had European attitudes more liberal, and I think we're seeing somewhat of a reversal with that. The rise of nationalism. We can get into this whole topic. Okay. But yeah, it's not just potentially a U.S. problem. I think. Anyway, let's talk about the rest of the episode. But yeah, we'll be tracking the Bubline story for sure for going into 2018 here. We can talk about Peppermint Butler, Pet Butt. Is this our Pet Butt last appearance, Alex?
I hope not, but
I know. I'm a big Pet Butt fan.
Yeah, I liked him in this episode. He's got his cute little pointy hat while forging the sword. But by the way, the nice looking sword for Finn. Like, if that's his sword going into the finale, I'm confident in that one surviving.
Yeah, we have our new sword, the Night Sword.
Yeah, the Night Sword. So that looks pretty cool. And but he's also still kind of a fanboy about Hunson, so that's also cute. See, he's still got his underworld fandom intact.
Yeah, I love a cult Pet Butt. That's one of my favorite plot lines the show's done.
Yeah, so he was nice.
Yeah. Sam, thumbs up on Night Sword?
It was okay. I mean, this is the billionth sword that Finn's had, so just another one.
Yeah. John,
not as important as Grass Sword, right?
Yeah, that's gone though. Yeah. John, Peppermint Butler comments?
I want Pet Butt to be the guy that ultimately kills the evil villain.
I
just love Pet Butt's contrast. He's this loyal butler on one end, and he's a dark art patrician on the next. It's great. It really is. It's just it's so funny and so enjoyable.
Yeah. Need more Pet Butt. Let's go. Only other thing from this episode is one of the ghosts, I think, asked Hunson, "What do you want to eat my fries?"
Ouch!
The necessary callback, I think, to that.
Yeah.
Still the best Marceline song, I think, of the show.
Sam, what do you think about that?
I mean, honestly, like, I was listening to it the other day. Daddy, What Do You My Prize is a really good song. I don't know if it was the best one. I think I'm Just Your Problem is probably the best.
Well,
and of course,
Sam, when are your Marceline song rankings coming out?
Do you actually want me to make that when the show?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, do it for. We have to have a lot of Adventure Time finale.
All right,
coverage,
sure.
yeah.
I'll do that for you.
Yeah,
I just want to say it's really hard to top "I Remember You." Like that
Yeah,
song
I remember
still
you.
gets me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. More on that as we approach the finale. Let's talk about the first investigation.
Wait, just the final thing with Marcy and Hunson. Also, the only thing that's connecting this to plot, quote unquote, is Chicle being in the background
we haven't
here.
talked about Chicle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, have you finally discovered the vampire girl's weaknesses? Are we making Marceline important? Like, I like Marceline,
I mean,
but
she's important.
She is important.
She's important to the. I thought we were focusing on Finn and Jake. All right. I don't know. It caught me a little off guard that they're focusing in on Marceline for some reason.
Yeah.
She's pretty powerful. Yeah.
I don't know. We've had a renewed focus on Marceline between stakes and a lot of stuff recently.
I guess, but in the end, did they discover her weakness? Is her weakness just she cares about Dad, or what?
Yeah, it was unclear if it was that or potentially. I mean, Bubblegum wasn't there. I assumed Bubline is her ultimate weakness, but
we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, the first investigation. So I love this episode. I want to present why I love it, because I think this is a great, again, as we're going through our finales, I think it's a great finale to the Jake and Finn past stuff with their mom and dad. And, we present a time loop as to how everything started. And I love how everything pays off. Everything in this episode is explained at the end when they get into the Poltergeist section of the episode. At the end, Finn spells out "I love you" to his parents, which we kind of saw the beginning of at the end. We see Jake's birth, and it's true, and he's seeing the truth about this. The thing that's unsatisfying is the clock bear part of it. I don't even know who that is. But I think
he was in that lady's thing.
Yeah,
Dr. Gross.
Right, they say it in the episode. One of the dudes that escaped Dr. Gross's menagerie, but yeah.
And he also appeared in a Cosmic Owl dream back in Hoots.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why we're bringing this random character in, but other than that, everything, I think it's all thematically cool. It all ties together. It's all and it's a good send off seeing Jake and Finn's parents again. And yeah, thumbs up. I don't know. John, I don't remember. What do you think of this episode?
Well, I think the clock bear was a red herring, personally. It was, they got the ghosts and all, but the real thing was the alien space dad thing at the end. That's the big takeaway, because Jake's going off to do something with him. We don't know what it is. I liked it. It was interesting. I thought it was a good use of time, of sort of the time slip idea, because the first investigation is really them, and if they're ghosts, and it's cool seeing Joshua and Margaret again. I don't know who voices Joshua, but he does a great job of sounding like a classic 50s dad.
It might be Ken Osborne.
Might be. But, it was okay. I mean, it was okay. I liked how they played with the scenery a little bit. My big issue from a canon standpoint, though, is that they show Jake and Finn and Jermaine as babies. Jake's supposed to be 14 years older than Finn. How on earth does that work?
Dog years?
Well, Jake's 30. He's an adult.
Oh.
Jake's been an adult the whole time.
Dog years.
We see that when he's born, I feel like he's already older in this episode. I think that's something that happened. But yeah, it's whatever. We'd have to get into the past presentations of the two of them here. But yeah, like you said, the alien dad's a big thing here, and we do actually have plot movement at the end of this when Jake goes off with alien dad and he says BRB. He says we have to leave, and yeah. So
is Jake getting written out until the finale?
Hope not.
I kind of hope so, but
wow, savage.
Yeah, I've never liked Jake, to be honest, but yeah, it's I think that I don't buy that this is a thing that's going to be super directly addressed, because the last time we did, at the end of Elements, when we were like, oh, Jake's blue now, it was next episode, oh yeah, not anymore.
But now he's blue again.
But now he's blue again, so I'm not convinced this is a long-term plot, but yeah, at least they leave it as a cliffhanger here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. The Abstract was the episode where he turns back from being blue. And I guess the moral of that was accept who you are and be okay with it. Was that the final lesson? Because if that is what we're going for, I guess this could be a continuation of him going further into his where he comes from, why he is the way he is, and how he can use that to help in the final battle or something along those lines. So I'm sort of interested, just because the shapeshifter being your dad thing has always been interesting to me. Like, what's up with that guy? So I want to see this fleshed out for at least one or two more episodes.
Yeah, I would like conclusion to this, because I was not satisfied with what we got from Elements and Abstract. Yeah, so
agreed.
I am glad we're approaching it again, and I am interested, like the Jake aliens background here. Other elements of this episode. We had Kim kill Juan in the beginning, and I think he was good. He's still only concerned about business, and his guy. And another thing that ties back his associate who goes to check on it. Turns out it was like Jake going crazy from the aliens.
Yeah, I don't know if I was slow, but I didn't pick up on the time loop thing until Jake runs into the raccoon. I'm sure some people got it earlier, but I didn't click with me until then.
No, I was in the same boat, and I noticed as well on the rewatch, for a fraction of a second, Jake was a ghost before he approached the raccoon, and then he became real. So that's when I realized, okay, I get it. End is the beginning is the end, sort of thing.
Yeah, and they use the ghosts visual. I also think it's a stunning visual episode. They use the ghosts to represent their like movements throughout the whole episode, like even if they're not in the present. So at the end, you see them going up the clock bar, and then they look back and they see them coming up. It's like it's all happening concurrently over and over, and their ghosts just represent their previous and future movements in the episode. And I love stuff like that. Like this all really clicked for me. One exchange I loved, was, and I felt personally attacked by this exchange, but from this episode was, Jake says, yeah, I know you believe that's true, but memories distort over time. Classic false memory syndrome. And Finn says, maybe you're the one with false memory syndrome. And, Jake says, classic, false memory syndrome response. Cause I'm always Jake in this situation. I'm like,
wow, stop trying to gaslight people, Dylan.
No, people's memories from when they're young are not true. I'm Jake. It's like, these are fake memories. And I think they were making fun of me, but I liked it. Okay.
Are you telling me I didn't actually meet Santa at the mall?
No, I think that part was
I
true.
mean, you did, but he was much fatter than you remember him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm fine now.
Yeah, I've had this exact discussion before, so I love this. It was great. And, did Jake also comment, it's weird they had this, or I don't remember, one of them comments, weird they had this whole other life, and they dropped it, for us babies. They had like this, subtle commentary on, like, having kids and career and stuff. But yeah, we see flashbacks of them documenting the ghosts. Babies, Jermaine, Jake, and them. And the wet willy, we see that happen, and then we had it referenced earlier. That was great too. He says, oh snap, I guess it was me. That's the part when you're supposed to realize it, yeah. With the wet willy. And, we do this weird thing with Jake in the bathroom, and it like goes to the future and then the past. That was interesting. We saw the alien creeping on baby Jake, seeing Jake's birth of himself from his dad. Sam, what do you think of that sequence?
Weird.
Melon baby, he says. He's a melon.
Mpreg.
Yeah, his Mpreg. Yeah, it happened.
I like Jake's little song. I forgot about it, but I like it.
Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy.
Yeah,
great to be here today or something.
Michigan J dog.
He says at the end, he's sucking up all the spilled time. That doesn't sound scientific. So I thought that was good too.
Well, you know what is scientific in this world?
Nothing, no. Yeah, it's all magic stuff. And then, Finn spells out I love you for his parents. So, yeah, and it was great. At the end, Jake concludes the birth that was his real birth, and, he goes with his dad, so.
His bio dad.
One of his dads.
His two dads.
2 dads, 1 mom. No.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. It's really 2 dads, 0 mom.
Yeah, actually, kind of the mom's not really involved. Yeah, so yeah.
Come on, step parents are very vital to
step parent. Yeah, I agree. Stepmom.
Jake is the first baby conceived of gay. There you go.
Seahorses,
biologically, yeah. But seahorses, yeah. Okay, so
I liked how they were able to work in a nice Spaceballs reference though with his birth.
What was the Spaceballs reference here?
Well, it's the fact that he
Spaceballs
emerged.
referencing Alien.
Yeah, it's Spaceballs referencing Alien. It's when
Okay.
in Spaceballs the alien comes out of John Hurt and he just starts singing "Hello, my dad."
Okay,
What was it?
yeah.
It's
Hello, my
Hello,
darling.
honey.
Hello, blah,
Hello,
blah, 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 blah.
Rag. And then Barf and Lone Star just go, "Check, please."
Okay, yeah. Interesting show, Adventure Time, with these references, but yeah, there you go.
It takes you a while, but you kind of appreciate the fact they exist because they know that the older people watch it and they will get them straight. They'll get them eventually.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm very thumbs up on First Investigation. Any other final thoughts on the episode?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is. It kind of feels like a slightly better version of Orb. Orb was that weird dream episode we had before Elements. They met like the nightmare monster or whatever. But it kind of feels like a slightly better version, but still it feels like a bunch of elements that you're throwing out, and I'm not really clear on what actually happened. Like
Yeah,
you're
bad with. I think you're bad with time. So I'm very clear on what happened here. I think it all tied together. I don't think this is Orb at all. Orb was just very abstract and didn't have a real plot. I think this had a very concrete plot.
Yeah, this felt similarly abstract to me in the viewing process, and I'm still not getting a hold on whether this was like. There were parts I enjoyed. There were parts I was like, huh, and it just felt a bit over my head personally.
Yeah, I think on rewatch you see just literally everything that happens in the episode in the beginning happens at the end. So like you see the cause and effect.
Yeah, you get the basic premise of the episode. That's true.
I really love how they handled cause and effect. I think it was all very I'm frustrated a lot of times with Adventure Time being too abstract, like with Orb, but this was not for me. This was one of the more plotty episodes I think the show's had, to be honest. And yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get what Alex is saying though too. This is definitely one of it is definitely an attempt at abstract, but yeah, unlike Orb, it is a bit more conservative. It's not straight linear, but at the same time, it's not so wild that the plot can't come out. And that it was handled, it struck that right balance between experimental and clear.
Orb is not attempting to have a plot, like a linear plot. Like it is just throwing some concepts out. This episode,
at least I didn't feel that this one was aiming for a linear plot either. It's more circular than anything.
Right?
I end up in the same place.
It's like a circular plot, but it has a narrative that all ties together. Like yeah,
it's kind
of standard, to be honest, about this type of story. Like things that happen, you see them explained later through time travel. Like yeah, I liked Adventure Time's interpretation of it.
Yeah. A better comparison would probably be that episode where they bring Prismo back. I forgot the name of it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're going around. It's entirely circular but you could still follow the plot eventually. But this was a little bit more toned down. That one was more like abrupt stop right at the end. So
I really like that episode.
Yeah, I actually liked that one though.
I did too, but it took me like 6, 7, 8 viewings to fully appreciate it.
Those are the best episodes of TV. Okay. Anyway, Sam, overall thoughts on the 4 episodes?
Thumbs up. Could have been better, but could have been worse. Can't wait to see where we go next. Hopefully more grander pastures.
Agree. More grander pastures. Alex, closing thoughts.
Yeah, generally good bomb. I think after talking this out, I think Marcy and Hunson ends up being my favorite of this group. 17 is fine. The first investigation has okay moments. And all in all, it's a good group of episodes, and definitely feels a lot more like we're setting up stuff still, like that, rather than focusing in the moment, especially with the first investigation. But I am just kind of savoring any last tastes of Adventure Time that we're going to get in these final months.
We hope months and not more than that. But yeah,
years.
John, closing thoughts.
A well-balanced mix of episodes and leaves you wanting more, and that's what we want from Adventure Time now.
Yeah. I'm much more bullish on the show's ending after these 4 than I was after the last batch of 4, or even the episodes previous to the 5 previous to that, or even Elements. Like, I think I like this the most since Islands, I think, this group of episodes. Is that an absurd statement, Alex?
No, I do think in terms of groups, like if we're excluding miniseries, I think that this is the strongest group. I do want to say that of the latest season, I think Bonnabelle Bubblegum is still the best episode.
Yeah, that was the standout of that group, but in general,
yeah. But in terms of grouping, that definitely this was a bit more consistent than previous episodes. See Always BMO Closing and Son of Rap Bear.
Yeah, we don't need to get back into Son of Rap Bear. That was an interesting episode. Those are also finale episodes. Yeah, those were not. Those were.
Yeah, we're never going to see Flame Princess again. R.I.P.
I really hope that wasn't the Flame Princess. It probably was.
That hurts my heart. If that's
I need more Flame Princess. Okay. This was our Huntress Wizard finale, though.
Aww.
17.
No, we are setting up a Finn Huntress Wizard kiss in the finale.
If they do a Finn Huntress Wizard kiss without a Bubline kiss, like, oh my god.
No. Finn Huntress Wizard wedding.
Yeah, that's the fanfic ending to Adventure Time.
No, they're going to flash forward 7 years and they're going to get married.
Like, if we do a flash forward and Marceline and Bubblegum are living together, that's cool by me.
They're not going to do it. They're not doing a flash forward. Okay. I do think
the animated series will talk about the virtues of hetero romance until the day is dead. But, God forbid, we have some sort of gay thing happen. Jesus Christ.
I round Sam up with that possibility.
How about Starchy and Root Beer Guy?
Yeah, where's Root Beer Guy? Where's our Root Beer Guy finale? That's true. I don't know. What's the last of him? I ship that, Starchy and Root Beer Guy. Anyway.
He's Dirt Beer Guy now.
Did they change him?
Yeah, he's Dirt Beer. He got resurrected.
They zombied him. Yeah,
basically Root Beer Guy.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, he was just the same thing. Okay. So that's all for our talk on these four episodes. Let us know what you thought in the comments on our website, overlandman.com, YouTube comments, and subscribe on iTunes or YouTube. Whenever we'll be back about Adventure Time. The finale, Come Along With Me, is apparently what it's called. So, yeah. And apparently it's 4 episodes. So,
wait,
to be determined.
It's not 100% clear, but that's what the current...
So everybody's just gonna go live with the shapeshifter dad. Is what I
Come Along With Me, parentheses, Shapeshifter Dad. That's your interpretation of that title?
Yeah.
Should be noted, that's also the title of the outro song, so...
Right. Oh, yeah.
Are there clues?
Yeah, we just have to watch the B sequence 100 times, then we'll figure it out. Justin is, I'm getting a telepathic connection from Justin. Does that mean that Breezy is going to be in the finale?
Oh my god.
Is that no? I think we're done with. Okay.
On the other hand, if you gave it to Tree Trunks, you might.
Okay, get out of here. Trunks is an iconic character.
Tree Trunks is more important than Breezy.
Oh my god. Okay. In conclusion, Tree Trunks is the greatest animated character of the 21st century. Okay.
Lies.
That's the conclusion. So let us know what you thought. Come talk with us about Adventure Time on Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord. And consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our current patrons, especially our patrons of the podcast. Michael, aka Mickey, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Andy, and Hugh. Check out overlyanimated.com for all of our other animated content. Ton of stuff. A lot of things. Very excited. A lot of things. Very excited for Adventure Time one of the biggest animation headlines going into 2018. What's the last 8 and the Minecraft episode going to be? The Minecraft episode is the big headline, right?
I guess
it's going to be it's going to be non-canon.
Yeah,
it's very important to 12-year-olds, I'm sure.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah,
important.
It's important to Rick.
It is important to it's important to Morty, and Rick was making fun of it. Okay, there you go.
Tell us in the comments if you've ever played Minecraft.
No, please don't.
Please share with us your mining and great temples you built.
Save that for we're gonna have to cover the Minecraft episode. You can save that for that one. Yeah. Okay, that sucks. Okay.
I played it like maybe once or twice.
Oh my god.
My brother
we will live podcast the episode from inside the Minecraft universe.
Yeah, we'll give you our little avatar guys, and we'll be like talking. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Pass. Okay. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you then. Bye.
Adios.
Take care.
Bye.